Hello, scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch. I am an independent creative memories advisor in Jupiter, Florida. Today, I want to just do a little album flip through in a personal album that I made for, it was actually volume 2 of our gardens. And I take way too many pictures in the garden and of puppies, but it's okay. There are worse obsessions. In any case, I want to share this with you because this is a Fast to Fab album. I don't remember exactly the name. I believe it was called Secret Garden, but it was just so beautiful. I had to have it. And I used the Fast to Fab because I really wanted to get more experience with it. And those are the pre-decorated pages. So a good thing about it is it kind of pulled the reins back on me a little bit. So it limited the photos that I put in because, as I said, I go a little bit crazy. You'll see one spot where I was totally out of control and I had to use peekaboo pockets, but it made a really pretty effect. So I'm going to share this with you now so you can get an idea of the wonderful convenience and beauty of having the Fast to Fab pages. Okay, so this is my title page, and this, as you can see, it has this beautiful watercolor. That was already the design on there for the Fast to Fab. I had to get a little creative here because the space that they had for you to put a photo didn't match exactly the photo I had. So I just added a little bit of color to make sure that it fit. And I entitle all of my garden albums Garden Glimpses. That's just what I do because that's what we're gonna have. Now, as you can see, the pre-design is at the top left, bottom right corner. And that's already done for you. And then the rest of the area is open. You can see I rounded the photos because, especially when I'm doing circles, I think it softens the photos anyway, but especially when I'm putting photos cut into circles, I think it makes it go together a little bit better. See some of my favorite birds, painted buntings. They migrate here in September and they leave in April. On this page, you can see it looks like I matted these 4 photos, but that matting design was already there on the pre-decorated page. And of course, these beautiful leaves and flowers. So I did go beyond that a little bit. I wanted a few more pictures on this page. So I have bunny pictures in the circles. And this is the blossom on our cinnamon tree. I didn't know cinnamon trees had a blossom, but they do. And on this page, I wanted to feature a very special day in our garden, and that was when I was in January 2 years ago, and the great blue hair and a young male came and stayed in our waterfall probably about half an hour. Kept preening himself and napping. It was wonderful, and I did not want to forget that day. Also, here I have some of my favorite pollinators on here. You can see them on the flowers. I'm all about the different colors and textures, not only of the colors of the leaves and textures of the leaves, but of course the flowers as well. And you can see here we had 4 rectangles, and I just added a few more photos. But most of the work was done. I embellished a little bit, but not a lot of work. Okay, I went a little crazy here, but that's because I did have a lot of photos that I wanted to fit in here. These are some of my favorite butterflies on these 2 pages. This entire page is taken for the monarch butterfly because I had so many photos from caterpillar all the way through to when it was creating its chrysalis. And here's a chrysalis and then the emerged butterflies. Just beautiful. Here's our zebra longwing. That's our Florida state butterfly. And then this pipevine, a plant that I'll show you in a moment, has these heart-shaped leaves and a crazy looking flower. But it is the larval plant for the pipevine swallowtail. This is where mama lays eggs, lots and lots of eggs, and they eat that. That's what it's for. Bon appetit. Here's a Gulf fritillary and a beautiful swallowtail also that flits through the yard. Just love it. The black swallowtail. Okay, this page, very reserved for me, but I really wanted to feature these beautiful colors and designs on my butterfly page. Okay, here, I wanted to pick up, because of the purple here, I wanted to contrast that. So I have this plant that has purple leaves, and here's our bougainvillea. I will only allow it to grow in a pot. Those things go crazy, and the thorns are really long. So I don't allow it to do much else. It's a dragon's breath in our Zen garden. These are called Rothschild lilies, and they're really crazy looking. I love them. Beautiful little hummingbird plant. That's not a hummingbird, but I mean, not a real hummingbird photo. It is an actual sticker, but in any case, yes, it's a hummingbird plant, hummingbird attractor. And here I have some of my purples and blues that I love. Blueberries, hybridized for Florida. They do better in middle of the state than they do here, but it's always worth a try. And of course, water lily blossom, purple oxalis. This plumbago plant I've had this around me since I was a child, grew up in Miami. And this, we always call it the sticky blue flower because it does kind of stick to you. But there's a blue butterfly, skipper butterfly, that comes in November, is the exact same color as that blossom. Remember the crazy flower I said? This is it. Looks like an alien. This is from the Dutchman's pipe, the heart-shaped leaf that has this crazy looking flower. It's just spectacular. It doesn't look real, does it? It looks like a fake. And our agapanthus. Now, I decided to make a rainbow. And I did Roy G. Biv, but I did it sideways rather than one row for each color. And at the base, of course, I put, because I have so many white blossoms that I love, put those there. Oh, Gardenia, one of my faves. Okay, on my next double page spread, I decided to feature our bromeliads. We have so many of them. They're a wonderful tropical plant that you get a lot of bang for your buck here, because these blossoms that you see, they bloom, and the blossoms last for months. And even once they've bloomed, you know, the initial flower and so forth, they develop seeds and so forth, so they change colors. So literally for 3 or 4 months, you have these beautiful flowers coming out of the plants. Now, because I had so many I wanted to put on this page, I did use the 2 mats set up here, but there were more on this side, which I just covered up because I wanted to, and I can because it's my album. That's what I did. And these are the photos I wanted. On this page, they just had the designs on each side, so I decided to put some of our critters over here. I have this beautiful little Carolina anole, which used to be very common in Florida, but we've had so many invasive lizards come in that have taken their habitat and actually eaten them that we don't have them, so I'm always thrilled when I see them. The night anole is another one that's been introduced. I felt like I was in Jurassic Park when I went around the corner, saw this thing on the tree. I heard rustling, and around the corner I went, and there it was. They are not friendly. They will bite you if you get too close, if they get scared. So I keep my distance. Sadly, they do eat bird eggs and baby birds and things. So I'm not pleased that they're there. I don't see them that often, but you know, that's what happens in a wildlife preserve. That's what happens. Over here I have my favorite bird. These are not my best photos. I have others, better photos, but these were the photos I had at the time I was creating this album. You see a hummingbird hovering here on the fire spike. Here's one resting on a branch, and then hovering above here's my fence. You can see them hovering above there. And then just a little path through the garden. I did stick to the program here, and I used the mats setup that were here, 2 on this page and 4 here, and I love the circular feeling that gives you when you follow that. I think it's just visually very beautiful. Here we are with a gaudy display of our hibiscus, some of our hibiscus. Hibiscus do come in so many different color forms and designs, petal designs even, that they're just wonderful to feature. This one, believe it or not, that's called a Turk's cap, and it is as open as it gets. It stays just like that, but it is filled with delicious nectar. How do I know that? Because they grew all over Miami when I was a kid, and when we were out playing, we would pull those off and suck the nectar, never knowing we were stealing it from bees and butterflies. How silly were we? I feel bad about it now, but we do have, you know, what can I say? It happened. But these are all different hibiscus. This one's Snow Queen. I love this with the big, long pistil. And this is probably my very favorite. It's called a Japanese lantern or Chinese lantern. And the petals just fold up around themselves. They're all frilly and just gorgeous. They all make me happy. Okay, so on this page, there are a lot of photos, but I tried to visually, take your eye at an angle here, a diagonal here, my purples here, my pinks here, and then some other spatterings of color. A few pollinators you see there. On this page, I have our different salvia, just a simple arrangement here with one of my favorite sayings, may all your weeds be wildflowers. I wish that for you. And over here some more. They did have some matting designs here, but I just ignored it. And of course then there would have been this little funky space here. So I used it by having this little butterfly just flit across the page. So you can use a little trickery, a little scrapbooking trickery too. Okay, buckle up. These are our orchids, and we do have so many orchids. It's one of our passions. We love orchids. And I had so many that I had to expand my pages with these wonderful shutter peekaboo pockets. I'm going to do one side at a time because this is so big it spreads it out. So it's like an orchid storybook. I was able to add 5 photos on this in this peekaboo pocket, and on this end I added 6, 3 on the outside, 3 on the inside. So when you open that up, it is very dramatic, and it really expands your space without adding another whole page, because I didn't really have enough for front and back of a page. Well, I guess I did, but I like the drama. Makes me happy. And now here we have our succulents. These succulents are very nice happy plant because they have those nice thick waxy leaves and they hold moisture in them. So if you neglect them, forget to water them, they're pretty forgiving. They bloom and they create little babies, some of them on the end of their leaves, little offshoots. They're a wonderful plant. Now here I'm going to feature some of our squirrels because I love circular arches. So I have this is my Star Trek moon gate, and the squirrels, I know, think that I put this in for them as a ladder so they can get to and from the bird feeder. Yeah, we call it squirrel feeder because they're like acrobats on here to get it. They do make moments like this for me, little Kodak moments, sitting on my certified wildlife habitat sign advertising for me. I do love them. They're cute. Sometimes they're a little rascally, but I love them anyway. And last but not least, I have some of our vegetables. We have two kinds of vegetable gardens. I have two vertical systems. I have a tower garden, which is recycled water base with nutrients in the base that recycles with it. And then I have one that's a garden tower, which has soil in it because you can grow different kind of crops like radishes and root vegetables. But our favorites that I had photos of that we harvest all through the late winter, late fall into early spring, is our beautiful lettuce, arugula, and kale. And I grow the Tuscan kale because it's flatter, so that when you harvest it and then you roast it, it is very easy to roast because it's flatter, so it all roasts evenly. And it tastes a lot better than it looks here. It's delicious, but that's our kale. And then the dill that I have here, you see it's gone to flower. I let it flower, go to seed, because, and if you can see it there, there's caterpillars really all over it. They're the swallowtail caterpillars all over it here. But, we got enough dill off of it. Now it's going to seed and to flower, but I say bon appetit, little babies. And last but not least, here's one of our oreganos. We have about 5 different oreganos. Cuban oregano, variegated Cuban oregano, Italian and Greek, and we love them all. But this one's about to burst into bloom. It was the first time it bloomed, so that was momentous. I took a photograph. So that's just a quick little walkthrough so that you can see the advantages to having a pre-decorated album for you, where you have this. All you have to do is simply put your photos, embellish if you wish, do some journaling, whatever makes you happy. But it's a wonderful way to create an album in a quicker fashion. Now, when you go on the Creative Memories website and you look at the Fast to Fab albums, you can see that there's a link there that you can click on, and it'll show you all the pages, all the double-page spreads, so that you know what the whole design is going to be of the album. So you can get a closer look. So I encourage you to explore. I will put the link for shopping on the website so you can explore these albums, and you can buy an album that has the pages already, or you can, if you have another album you just want to buy the refill, you can do that by the Fast to Fab refill. We even have some collections, like the new What Is Zoo 2 has a Fast to Fab inspired designer paper, so you would just put those pages down and they would be pre-decorated, and you can do minimal decoration. But I encourage you to do some exploring. I would love to be your advisor if you'd like to shop on there. I will put the link. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed my garden glimpses. Thank you so much.